Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take.
Welcome to the Fray Flak Pack. It's Termex here, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 build video. And in today's build video, I'm going to show you guys my Phasetrap flak. And basically, the 4th skill tree came out with the new Designer's Cut DLC for Borderlands 3, and it added the 4th skill tree, it added a bunch of cool stuff, and I wanted to make a build completely centered around the gravity trap within itself. Alright, so first starting off into the skill tree, let's pop it on screen right about now. Now we do have a lot of things going on here. As you can see over into our red tree, we do have Megavore. Megavore is going to play a big factor with this because we are using a crit setup, because there's a lot of critical hit damage benefits that synergize well with the purple tree. We do have Leave No Trace, which is going to be helping tremendously with a lot of the weapons we are using, and of course we do have head count, so we can get our gravity trap back faster. It's actually quite a quick cooldown for an action skill, but this just makes it a little bit quicker. And as you can see, we went halfway into the soccer skill tree, just enough to get Lick the Wounds. Now we have no point going into self-repairing or Eager to Impress, because we're going to get our action skill pretty dang quickly, and the extra health isn't going to be helping for the situation that we're doing here. Furious Attack is going to be good for everything, pet damage and gun damage per stack, which is nice. 20% gun damage, 30% pet damage, easy to get all the time. And we do have Overclocked, of course, because a lot of our weapons are going to be automatic weapons, and more fire rate does equal more DPS. And of course, Lick the Wounds, because, you know, cases where when I play this game, yeah, let's just say I need it quite often to save me a lot of heartbreak. But now I want to go a little bit more in depth into the purple tree, so I'm going to bring you guys back here, and I'm going to go over some of the skills for you people that don't understand how the new skills work. I did put 5 out of 5 into agility training, which gives me and my pet a flat out 40% reload speed, 10 times better than Second Intention in my opinion. 5 out of 5 in a success imminent, so when my shield or my pet's shield breaks or is filled, we get those radiation novas, just good to have. 5 out of 5 and it gotta go fast, because we were going to go into something kind of like Monkey Do or not even a challenge. But for me personally, I don't like these two skills for multiple reasons. The first reason is, for not even a challenge, your pet has to get the kills in order to get the cooldown rate and action skill duration, so you already have to spec more towards a pet catered build for this to even be a beneficial skill. And over into Monkey Do, when you're using an automatic weapon, having that amped damage shot isn't going to make or break a build. It's not enough to fully say, hey, this is worth putting your points into. So when we're going for a non-pet specific build, these two skills really, in my opinion, are pretty dang useless when it comes to doing more damage. 3 out of 3 into better toys, just so we get the recharge rate and recharge delay on our shields. Now, you could argue that you don't need this. You could argue you can put these 3 points in the Throat Ripper, because a lot of people are going to question, why do you want recharge rate and recharge delay when you have something like fuzzy math? Well, when you have your shields, sometimes you're reloading, sometimes you can't get those critical hits on certain enemies, and sometimes Megavore just chooses not to proc. You still want your shield to be recharging faster and the delay to be a lot less. It just helps a lot with your survivability. 5 points in the fuzzy mask, so when we hit a critical hit or our pet hits a critical hit, we get 15% of our max shields instantly. And of course, since we are running a Megavore combo, we are going to have shields up quite often. Now, the thing that makes fuzzy math so awesome is when you're using something like the Monarch or the Light Show, anything with multiple projectiles is going to be very beneficial with this, because you're going to be getting more Megavore procs, which means you're getting more fuzzy math procs. Overall, pretty dang awesome skill. And finally, we do have Capitance, which is basically going to be giving us 100% extra shield capacity when we activate our action skill. Awesome capstone, great for survivability, and we're going to be throwing out our gravity trap quite often, so we're going to get this 99% of the time. For our first augment, we have Forage, and this is going to be your best go-to augment for flak. This is basically a built-in cut purse relic for flak, because when you hang enemies up into the air, they do drop ammo boosters, health boosters, and shield boosters. Now the health boosters are just health vials, the shield boosters are just instant shield, but the ammo boosters are ridiculous. The ammo boosters, when you pick them up, whatever weapon you're holding, it maxes out that category of ammo. So if I'm down to 300 bullets and I'm using an SMG and I pick up one of these ammo boosters, I go back to full cap at 2,000 bullets, and people are very overlooking this. This makes it so you can use basically any weapon and not run out of ammo, which is why we are using the Tizzy for one of the main sources of damage in this build, which I'll get into here in a minute. And for our next augment, I'd have Wide Net. Now Wide Net just boosts the radius by double, and the duration, it lasts a little bit longer, which is nice. I didn't want to go with Trap Card because that only relies on you going down, and Blind with Anger is kind of similar to Dominance, but I didn't want enemies shooting each other. I just want enemies suspended up into the air so I could shoot them, and that's where the whole phase trap comes with this, because phase lock, all that kind of stuff suspends enemies, and I thought it was a good play on words. And for our pet, we do have a Warloader. This is just overall the best pet in the game right now for flak. It does a lot of damage, very cool, shares your grenade, and all of his bonuses deal 51 times the damage. So my Hunter Seeker is good, but when he's using my Hunter Seeker, when he throws it, that Hunter Seeker is hitting for 51 times the damage mine does, which is ridiculous, but that's just how pet scaling works now. So it's just nice to have him, and the bonus fire rate is not too bad as well. Now, as for the Guardian rank, my Guardian rank is disabled as always in all of my builds. The only time I use Guardian rank is when I do true takedowns, just to make that clear. But I do all my testing with these builds with no Guardian rank perks or bonus stats enabled, so it works for basically everybody. Over to our Mayhem modifiers, we have... remember, Mayhem 11. We have no Mayhem modifiers. If you guys don't know, they added this. Best feature Gearbox has ever put into their game. Thank you so much for this. This makes me so happy. Alright, going into our inventory, we have a lot to go running down here, a lot to run through, and I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. Your first weapon is going to be the Plasma Coil. The Plasma Coil is a Maliwan SMG that you can get from the new Arms Race DLC, and I got mine to roll with URAD Anoints. This SMG is honestly a thing of beauty. It has a bunch of status effect damage, as you can see in the card right below the little picture of the SMG. It does crazy amount of damage, crazy amount of burst damage, and it has so much potential with flak, especially with Megavore and all of our hunt kill skills. This thing is just a beast. And now an underrated weapon, which is a Tig's Boom. The Tig's Boom, I got the double penetrating version, giving us a 18 pellet counts. This gun basically shoots out a bunch of shotgun projectiles and storms in little balls of electricity down on your enemy that deal insane splash damage. I also got this with the URAD Anoints, and this is a very underrated weapon right now, and honestly this is going to be your main go-to mobbing weapon as long as it's not too hard of enemies. You could always pull out the Plasma Coil to kill everything, but this gun is very slept on. Highly recommend getting your hands on one of these. As for our third weapon, we have the Tizzy. Now the Tizzy is also a Arms Race exclusive pistol. This thing is freaking ridiculous. From my knowledge, it could roll in any elements with any anointments. It comes in a ×2 prefix and a ×3 prefix. Now I did have a cryo one with a gravity trap 100% active anoint, but I want to go with the whole URAD theme. That's why this build's been a little delayed. I've been doing a lot of Arms Race, and I've been wanting to get the right anointments for this build. And now that I got mainly the guns I wanted, I didn't get every single item I wanted, but I got the main majority of it, so I can bring it for you guys to mess around with. Now for your fourth weapon, I do have the Dark Army, which is also a Arms Race exclusive. This gun, basically when you're holding it, it summons 3 drones, and you're doing insane amount of damage with this, and it pairs well with the URAD anointment because those drones will also get the URAD damage. If you don't know what I mean by drones, basically if you remember the OPQ system's secondary fire, it's basically the same exact thing, but they're permanent as long as you're holding the weapon. As for your shield, go with the front loader because this will give us our URAD activation, but not at the cost of making us forcibly change our relic. We are sticking with the Pearl of Knowledge with a fire rate and magazine size roll. The fire rate's not the important role here, the magazine size is, so get whatever knowledge you can as long as it has magazine size. The second one doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Now our front loader does have a incendiary anoint, just so you guys know, and as for our grenade, you could really use anything, but I like to use the Hunter Seeker, of course, on flak since we are running Megavore, and I have radiation ASE so it doesn't overlap with my front loader, so it's fire and radiation every time our gravity trap ends. And as for our class mod, we do have the Bounty Hunter. I've been using this Bounty Hunter and I've been saving it for a build that needs it, and we do have SMG damage, weapon damage, and splash damage. Now basically it caters to almost everything in this build except for our Tiggs Boom and our Tizzy. They're not going to be getting basically any benefits from the rolls on this class mod, but Bounty Hunter, from my knowledge in my testing, is probably your best go-to here for bossing and mobbing. But I do want to talk about the new class mod for flak. I got this to roll with SMG damage, shield recharge rate, and flat off weapon damage. Pretty terrible rolls, but the SMG damage is the only reason I kept it. I want to show you guys something real quick. Whenever flak damages an enemy, their pet has a 20% chance to automatically attack that enemy with the attack command. And this is good for certain situations. I'm going to throw this in the PC save file. Link will be in the description below for you guys. But the thing I do not like about this class mod is the class mod itself. I don't mind the bonuses. The bonus points that you get for it is awesome. I don't mind that. It's just the attack command, unless you're running a pure pet build, it's not going to be the most beneficial thing. You're not going to have the best bonuses or the best buffs with this unless you're running a pet build. That being said, if you look over into our purple tree once again, we have 1 extra point into our capstone. This is kind of weird to see 2 points into a capstone, but you guys can run this if you feel like Bounty Hunter is not your thing. If you feel like you want to be more centered to be more tanky, then this is definitely something that you guys can do. Alright, so let's go into our classic Athenas run. And if you guys don't know what the Tizzy does, I think that's enough said right there. We just burned through almost 400 ammo right there. But as you can see, pay attention to our ammo. We're going to use this gun just because I want to show it off a little bit. Our gravity trap just hung that guy up, and we got our ammo back basically instantly right there, as you can see in the bottom right. And that's what the gravity trap does when we have that forage augment equipped on it. And that's what I really like. The utility behind the gravity trap is getting very overlooked. A lot of people are still running Gamma Burst, which is respectable, because Gamma Burst still has, in my opinion, a little bit more damage than Gravity Trap does. Gravity Trap is still a utility skill at the end of the day, but I kind of like that. I like seeing flak with a utility skill. It's a little bit different, as you saw right there. Our Warloader just did 4 million damage with the Hunter Seeker. That's the 51 times damage I was talking about earlier. But on to what I was saying, the whole having a utility thing for flak actually works out pretty well, because flak has so many damage abilities in his kit already. Throwing in a utility skill is actually very suiting for him. Now I do want to show a little bit of the Tiggs Boom, because this gun will get overlooked, and I want to shed some love to this shotgun again. This shotgun is not a bad shotgun as long as you get the right rolls on it. Of course, URAD and all that kind of stuff is going to be a gimme with most weapons. But the Tiggs Boom used to be a pretty crappy gun, but now I see it being kind of viable for a lot of situations. Pick up our gravity trap. Now we will get our ASEs from that. Tiggs Boom should be able to take care of that guy up there. And yes, this shotgun is nice. You could probably make a whole splash build around this, but I think the gravity trap in general is good enough in my opinion. Gravity trap right on these guys. Don't let them get out. Oh yes. When you get a gravity trap like that, proccing on every single enemy, and then the Tiggs Boom, the insane splash damage goes to all nearby enemies. That is the kind of synergy I like to see. That's why I like this shotgun so much when it comes to mobbing. We're gonna hop right into here, throw some Hunter Seekers to get our hunt kill skills activated. Our loader bot might throw 1 or 2. If you see a bunch of damage numbers, that's usually normal. Throw our gravity trap and pick it back up so I can get my ASEs. And let's dig right into them. There we go. Oh yes, this is when you start shredding through the boss. Gotta reload one more time, but this gun is awesome, and that is boss down. Beautiful. But yes, guys, that is my gravity trap flak build. This is my take in my personal way that I like to run gravity trap flak. If you guys have any suggestions or things that you would like to change, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And if you need any help with anything, you could always join my flak pack Discord. Link will be down in the description below, along with the link to the PC save file. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're new and you want to join the flak pack, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future Borderlands 3 videos. I have a bunch coming your guys' way here in the near future. Even though Call of Duty Cold War came out, I'm still gonna put out a bunch of videos. Honest opinion video will be my next video, I'm pretty dang sure. But you guys have a terrific day, and me and Warloader Bot, because you cannot rename your pets for some reason. We'll see you guys later.